Hello everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here.
God bless white America.
So if I'm wearing a Knicks jersey, it only means that I am talking about the newest offering from one of the most outrageous and praised directors of the last 30 years, Mr. Spike Lee. And that movie, of course, is BlacKkKlansman, starring John David Washington, Denzel Washington's son, just in case you didn't know, Laura Harrier, Topher Grace, and Adam Driver. This movie is based on the true story of a young rookie cop in Colorado Springs named Ron Stallworth, who decides to infiltrate the Ku Klux Klan and show the community the true hatred that is brewing in their town, which is trying to push equality, diversity, and friendliness amongst the white and black community. Now, Spike Lee is known for real controversial yet memorable films. I will still say to this day, even after seeing BlacKkKlansman, that one of his very first films, Do the Right Thing from 1989, it is still the greatest film that he has given us and one of the greatest films of all time. There will be a review that I have done for that movie at the end of this video. But knowing that he was tackling this, and the trailer did look very interesting, I had to see this movie for myself. And it got praise from so many people, high ratings on Rotten Tomatoes, and I gotta say, this was a very good film. It was extremely entertaining and had some great comedy, some great thrilling and tense and dramatic moments, and one of the most impressive things about this movie is how relevant it is to today. As a matter of fact, knowing Spike Lee, you know there's going to be some controversy, and throughout this film, from beginning to end, you get some true moments, some real points that are made throughout this film, and yes, when the movie comes to a very end, there is not going to be applause. You are just going to be stunned with what you see. And I will say, for a movie that is made by Spike Lee, this was a very un-Spike Lee-like film. As a matter of fact, while I was watching this movie, I really felt like I was watching something from Quentin Tarantino. It really flowed, the pace was fantastic, the dialogue was extremely engaging, the characters were absolutely fantastic. I loved John David Washington in this film, and I am not surprised that he gave me the performance that he did, considering who his father is, and I would love to see him in future projects. This is definitely one of the better films from Adam Driver, especially considering the fact that he has been in big-budget films very recently. It was great to see him shed the Kylo Ren vibe and actually give me a truly great performance, because he has given me those kinds of performances in the past, and it was great to see him again. Even Steve Buscemi's brother Michael is in this film too, and even though he doesn't have the most major of roles, it's like you're watching this movie, you're saying, is that Steve Buscemi? You can't tell because it looks like Steve Buscemi, he sounds like Steve Buscemi. Turned out to be his brother, why not? And I really have to give tons of props to Topher Grace playing David Duke, because this is an extremely controversial figure in the United States history, and for him to actually take on this role, a true risk to his career, even though he hasn't really been doing much in recent years, I will definitely say that if there was any way to push him back into the mainstream and have people talking about him as an actor again, this was definitely the right role to take and the way to really get his name in conversations again. And I've seen so many interviews with him, seeing what it was like to play this character, and he was very humble about it, but at the same time, he was really trying to spread some truly great reasoning as to why he chose to play a truly dark-hearted, evil person in our nation. And I give him props. I'm so glad that he was in this movie, because I've always liked him, and I want to see him in more movies because he really is a great actor, and this was a great role for him to finally get his name out there once again. I will definitely say that this movie is not for the faint of heart, but it is definitely a true lesson to be learned in our country today, even around the world today, and I really cannot recommend this movie enough. This is definitely going to be one of those movies that I will remember this year. I wouldn't be surprised if this movie actually got some nods at the Oscars this year, and it is definitely worth seeing, and even if you don't see it on the big screen when it comes out on home video release, check it out. But I would highly recommend seeing see Do the Right Thing first. But it is not one of those movies that I'm going to want to see hundreds of thousands of times. It will definitely be a movie that I would rewatch because it is very interesting. Would I consider getting it on DVD? Maybe. If it was on a discount rack for $6.99, and definitely after I've given it a second watch, but it just doesn't have that true extreme rewatchability, especially when you compare it to Do the Right Thing. Do the Right Thing I can watch over and over and over again. This one not so much, but I would definitely watch it again. But I will definitely say that this movie is going to be remembered. It is definitely a conversation starter, especially when it comes to bridging the gap between the two extremes. This is definitely a way to see so many different things that we can relate to today and see it from so many different points of view. And I'm going to be giving BlacKkKlansman 3 stars out of 4. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Please leave your comments in the box below and let's discuss BlacKkKlansman, and I will see you in the next one. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. If you're new here and want to see more of what my channel has to offer, please click on the link to my last video, or hit that subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of my uploads. Content of all sorts is posted here quite often, so trust me, you do not want to fall behind. I will see you in the comments, and actions speak louder than words.